What's going on YouTube? My name is Tom and this is my Volkswagen LT31 with a BMW M57 Swapped. And today I'm going to show you everything that has to be done in order to make this work. This car particularly has a BMW engine from an E60 with the manual 6-speed gearbox. So let's get going. So a little backstory about this car. I bought it in Finland for 1,300 euros. It was like a year ago, and yeah, actually this is the company that used to make these vans. Anyway, I brought it myself to Latvia with my X5 over there, but that was one of the stupidest decisions in my life. Please don't do that because it's too heavy to tow such a big van. It had an engine defect of some sort. And actually, the funny thing is that I managed to make the stock engine work and even sell it back to Finland. That 2.4 diesel turbo engine was not running only because there was a fuel leakage in the tank. Basically, it was sucking some air inside. There was a problem with one of those pipes, and that was the only reason why that car was not running. So that's why I got it so cheap. I drove with the car for like a couple of months, and then I decided that I want to do the swap, since the 2.4 diesel engine has like 100 horsepower. Even the turbo version had like 102 or 105 horsepower, and I mean, come on, for such a van, 100 horsepower and 200 newton meters of torque, that's just horrible. So anyway, I decided to do a M57 swap. So first things first, let's get inside over here. This actually used to look nice. There were shelves all the way over here and all the way over there, like stock shelves with this stupid USSR type of material. So I have decided to address the leakage that comes from here. That's one of the culprits why it's leaking, because I have solar panels installed by the last owner, and he has done it so bad that the water is soaking through over here. So yeah, I have to fix this thing at some point, but that's the job that I'm going to do in the next couple of months. All right, let's get into the car and show you some stuff over here as well before we get to the engine. So yeah, that's how it looks at the steering wheel. Basically, there's some gauge that I have installed, boost gauge, the oil pressure gauge, and the voltmeter. And also I have this beautiful looking Android that actually has a lot of nice functions. As for example, I have a rear view camera that actually engages whenever I do the reverse. There's the Waze, of course. Then actually it shows you the GPS speed and everything over here. It has a 360 camera actually, which I have not installed. Then there's TPMS system, which is a tire pressure monitoring system, and yeah, it works pretty good. But anyway, let's start the car, and then after that we can proceed with the technical information about the swap. Yeah, you can hear my loud fuel pump, which is a Bosch 044. Would you look at that? Anyway, let's open up this hatch. This is the inspection hatch, which actually has a fuel pressure gauge over here. The ECU and the air filter is over there. All right, let's open this thing up. I have actually managed to fit the engine inside without doing any modifications on subframe. The only modification that I had to do is cut the sump a little bit. So this is how it looks underneath the car. BMW gearbox, and that's the welded sump. You had to cut a little bit off from the front side of the sump, so the engine would sit a little bit further to the rear. Otherwise, without the sump modifications, it would not be possible. So as you might see, M57 engine sits pretty well over here. There's plenty of room. I mean, well, not really plenty of room, but that's enough room for everything over here. In my case, I have removed the stock reservoir, so I decided to use the Volkswagen Golf 4 coolant tank. so that it sits over here. I have built a bracket so it won't go anywhere. So, and here you can see a pipe that I have built. This pipe goes from the top of the radiator and goes all the way to here and goes inside here. Also, there's a temperature gauge over here that I've built in. This is the stock Volkswagen LT engine's temperature gauge, and I have blocked some of those coolant pipes, like for example this one. Anyway, as you can see, the engine fits really well, and you might have noticed that I don't have this stock air filter housing, which used to sit as a valve cover. I have used Opel Omega valve cover, which doesn't have the air filter integrated inside the valve cover. As you might know, the Volkswagen LTs run on a cable-driven clutch, which sucks in this case because I need hydraulic-driven clutch instead. So what I did, I actually had to remove these ones to show you. So what I did is I made this lever construction, let's call it like that. So how it basically works, this thing attaches to the pedal. Normally when you push the pedal, the lever goes up, and basically what it did, it pulled the cables and then the lever in the gearbox moved. In this case, you push the pedal, this thing goes up, and it pushes this thing inside. This is a clutch master cylinder from the next Volkswagen LT from next generation, and I made it so it fits over here because there was no space underneath over there where the pedals are, and it looks somewhat terrible, but trust me, it works just fine. These are reinforcement brackets that I had to made because once the hydraulics were in, it twisted the chassis a little bit over here because the metal over here is really thin. So yeah, I will show you guys how it works. So let's get into the car and push the pedal. And actually this thing is the most difficult part of the swap. Normally what people do is they swap the M57 engine with an automatic gearbox, which is way easier, so you don't have to worry about one, the clutch, and the second thing about the gear switching. What I've used in the front, I'm using Ford Transit MK7 I think, and actually everything over here that you see, these levers, I made them on my own. This took me 2 full days to make it work properly, and now it runs so good that I would not change a thing over here. And let me show you how it works. I'm gonna get inside the car and let us switch gears together. This is the first gear, second gear, this is third gear, fourth gear, fifth gear, and sixth gear. And also, of course, the reverse. And yeah, you might have noticed that I'm lacking power steering pump, but I'm actually not. The one that used to sit on the engine is not there, but let me show you underneath the car. This is a power steering pump, which is electric hydro power steering pump from Opel Astra. And the steering box actually sits right there. So whenever you turn on the ignition, let me turn off the fuel pump, you might hear the power steering pump. See? And the fun fact is, I have power steering even when the car is not running. Anyway, that's pretty much it, but let's start the car and take it for a spin. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please hit the like and subscribe button. And in the next video, I will be showing you this E92, which is my drift car. I have swapped 4.3 liter Toyota engine inside of it.